And I really like this image. And I think it's really important for us to take those into consideration and reflect how we are dealing with them, because those barriers to learning needs to be taken down in order for us to get on with our learning journey with digital. So let's have a look at the barriers to learning and how you sort of value them. So I'm sure you're familiar already with Menti.com. So you can either scan the QR code that you can see on the screen, or you can go to Menti.com on your mobile device or your desktop right now and type in the code that you can see, and then answer I believe there are 2 questions. So I'm going to come out of here, and I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see my screen. Can you see my my screen on Menti.com? No. So
no.
I'll change my. I'm going to stop sharing and I'll share again so we can have a look at. There we go. Here we go. And if I go here, it's about how would you rate the barriers to EdTech? And the code is 3256248. I'll just refresh, but normally it should pick it up automatically. Yay, look at that. Okay. Okay, so far we've got 1 person who's voted only. Come on, guys, come on, girls. Let's tell us which one you think is the biggest barrier to you, and you place it in the first position. And then you can move things around. Yeah.
Could I have the code again, please?
Yeah, it's right at the top. It's 3256248.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll stick it in the chat if you want. If I can find the chat.
Vikki, Wayne already shared the code on the chat. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Wonderful. Here we go. So 4 of you have voted. So a lot of you think that access to technology is really important. And you're right. We've really identified during the period of the COVID-19 pandemic that it's really sort of widened the social digital divide. And we know that there are about 16 million adults who do not have the essential digital skills they need for work. And those are quite gigantic numbers when you think about it. Time coming second, definitely. It's about finding the time. We're getting more and more busy. And while technologies have really helped us in terms of communicating and keeping in touch, it's really also accelerated performance and just-in-time access to communications and things like that. And a lot more is expected of us. And we've got less and less time. Our workload is becoming gigantic. Confidence is also important. And you need to remember that we are all on a learning journey. And it's really important for us to think in terms of making a step. And it doesn't matter where you start. What's important is to get started and make that first step. So build your confidence. The more mistakes you're going to make and the more fall you're going to get to experience, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You won't make them twice. You will learn from those mistakes. So keep going. Knowing how, and I think that's probably the most difficult, how us as teachers can use new technologies to redefine our pedagogic approaches. Technophobia, don't be scared. Technologies are not going away. It's very much something that you need to get used to, and go with it. Don't be afraid of it. Just try to be intuitive with it. I've never used Google Meet, so look at me. I'm not that good at changing my screen and everything. You know, we all learn, so it's about that. And yes, motivation. There are always other things that we want to do, and availability of personalized training. I see that it's the least of your priorities. Well, let's have a look at how you think the facilitators are. More time for CPD. I totally agree with that. It's really important for us to have time to discover. And I think that was one of the beauty during the pandemic, is that because we were working remotely and we had less synchronous sessions with our learners, we could actually have more time to meet, attend training, and sort of adapt our learning content. Personalized CPD, yes, the CPD needs to be just in time, and the content needs to be what it is that you need, you personally, for your self-development. And yeah, redefining pedagogic approaches is not easy, and is going to add a lot of values to your practice. Peer support, less so. Oh, I've got it twice. Sugar. So, oops. Sorry. Whoop. So, peer support. And here we go again. It's about considering yourself to be as a user of technology. So all of you are using technology frequently and with confidence. So it's quite impressive. One of you perhaps a little less, but nevertheless, this is where it's becoming more difficult, isn't it? It's a user of technology for teaching, and you can see here how varied everybody is, and you're not using it as frequently, and perhaps with less confidence in 50% of you. And then finally, it's a user of technology with learners, and that's even more difficult. But you need to remember that your learners don't know either, perhaps, and it's about identifying opportunities when this can be done. So I'll stop sharing my screen now, and I'll go back into my presentation, if that's okay. Here we go. And here we go. Present, window, up, share. And let me go back here. And I think I need to move very quickly across those slides. I hope you're here as well. Okay, so this is where we are. And we're going to look at the enhanced digital teaching platform. Now, what's really important to think about is that when we designed Enhance, we did a consultation with the sector. We did some case studies with colleges to understand the barriers and the facilitators within their organization, to remove barriers to engagement. And that's exactly what we've tried to do with the enhanced digital teaching platform. So it is a mobile first design. What does it mean? It means that it is responsive and adaptive to whatever device you're accessing it from. There is, you don't need to sign up, so it's totally free to access to everyone. However, if you want to collect badges, or if you want to be able to feedback and contribute to the communities of practice, you'll need to register. You can't be anonymous and do that, which is fair enough, isn't it? We've adopted a user-centered design process. It means that whatever we do, we get users to test it in the sector, to give us feedback, and whatever feedback you give us on the modules, we take on board and it drives improvement. So if you don't like a module, don't just give a 1-star rating out of 5 or 2 stars, because we don't know what it means. Please do tell us how we failed to meet your needs or your expectations, and we'll make sure that we take this on board to drive our quality process. We know that time is one of the major barriers, and we've therefore designed bite-sized training modules. They're 5 to 6 minutes long each, so you can fit it in within your heavy schedule. All our trainings are pedagogy focused, so we've removed the barriers of digital skills effectively, because we are talking the language of educators. We're looking at technology from a pedagogic viewpoint. We've got very strong ethos, and we've embedded inclusive ethos across all the content of the training. And we've also embedded a gamification and reward process within the programs, with achievement badges. So at exploring, adopting, and leading stage, and you can see those stages at the top. And finally, since February, we are trying to build communities of practice. So Enhance digital teaching platform hosts 2 programs. One, which is the EdTech program, which is underpinned by the digital teaching professional framework that you can see on this slide. It is a national competency framework, and it's to help practitioners to define and assess their progress using EdTech to support effective learning. It has 7 competencies. It is structured on the teacher's journey. However, it's not meant to be approached in a linear manner. It is an aspirational framework. Across each of the 7 competencies, there are 3 stages. The blue stage is exploring, and it's for those of us who do not know how to embed EdTech in our practices. So it's for starters, really, in EdTech. The green stage, or adopting stage, is for those of us who are starting to embed EdTech in our practices. And the leading stage, or yellow stage, is for those of us who are more advanced and are supporting others and are able to critique what EdTech may be more suited for a given learning context. The second program available is the Essential Digital Skills program. It has 20 modules, a bit longer each one. They're about 20 minutes each. And they are underpinned by the Essential Digital Skills framework by the government, which is a program offer to help you if you are going to be delivering the new qualifications related to the upcoming legal digital entitlement to adults with no or low digital skills. Do you remember a minute ago I've mentioned there were 16 million adults who do not have the essential digital skills for work. And those adults really need to engage with digital skills. So ICT functional skills will shift to the essential digital skills. And there are already accreditations for adults to take on this digital entitlement. 3 courses available to them. So that's really important. Now, for organizations, to support organizations in strengthening their support framework and accelerating their digital learning strategy, we've got a free subscription to the DTPF management dashboard. It's embedding, it enables providers to capitalize on the free EdTech and EDS resources across the organization and really sort of support staff in building that sort of pedagogy dialogue in-house or with others within the Enhance platform. So let's have a look at online teaching and learning. We've all experienced in since the COVID-19, the shift to online learning. However, it was very different to sort of deliver online in March when we know our students, we are familiar with them, they know us, they know their peers, they're well settled in their course, and doing it now at the beginning of the academic year. So let's have a look. There's three main differences in terms of face-to-face teaching and learning and online teaching and learning. First of all, on face-to-face, we can enhance learning and teaching with technology and assistive technologies. However, the main balance remains curriculum and pedagogy. Now, as soon as you shift teaching online and learning online, we become technology reliant, and technology is a facilitator. Therefore, it's really important to ensure that technology is accessible, the content is accessible, but we've got our learners have connectivity and the devices to access it from. It's important to also identify the tools that we need to do certain activities and to be familiar and clear on those. And it is also about our digital skills and building up those sort of digital skills that we need in order to be able to engage online. Why do assistive technologies are important? And it's important for learners to familiarize themselves with their mobile devices, perhaps assistive app. And finally, the balance is therefore shifted online with a third ingredient, which is about a third essential consideration, really, technology as a tool to communicate, collaborate, and make knowledge and skills stick. Behavior is also another factor which is changing. Rather than classroom rules that we agree with all the learners at the beginning of the academic year, we need to move to netiquette and how to respect and be constructive online, how to collaborate with others. It's also about managing learners' expectations. How can they learn when in asynchronous sessions? It's about being inclusive and building those soft skills that they will need in order to be able to work independently. The confidence we've mentioned already as an important factor, and we all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has really raised the level of anxiety and stress amongst teachers and learners, and therefore it's important for us to keep in touch and to make sure that we support that well-being of our learners as well as ourselves, and safeguarding as well, because there is an element of vulnerable learners there. Delivery, obviously, creating and adapting learning content and redefining pedagogic approaches, deciding which is going to be synchronous and which is going to be asynchronous. So really, as a teacher, we all have this question, how do I deal with? And it's about the learner's engagement. Yes, learners may attend the session, but it doesn't mean that they are engaging within the session. And how can we check this? It's about measuring performance and managing learners' work asynchronously and also supporting them. Obviously, our learners also need to be supported in terms of building that social interaction, that confidence. We've mentioned independent learning already, and progressing. How do you measure that progress that learners are making? So it's about the quality of learning. So it's really important for us to redefine those pedagogic approaches and shift from teaching as providing information to creating learning environments and opportunities. The teacher's role, especially online, is a guide, and a guide for learners to take ownership of that learning and building the confidence to do so. Making online learning engaging, effective, and inclusive is essential. Now, online learning needs a new plan and timetable devised around shorter synchronous sessions, probably no more than 20 minutes really, with clear deadline for asynchronous elements of the program, where you are going to set an activity, whether it's a response in the chat, in the discussion forum, whether it is a quiz, whether it is a conversation. You need to set something so that you know that the learner has understood, not just performed and looked at it, but has actually retained the key elements of the training. Now, we all know how critical the induction process is, and this period up to the half term. And it's about making sure that learners are settled in the right course at the right level in the right study program, so to get off at a good start at induction. And therefore, we've developed a PDF on how to shift the induction process online. It was released in September. You may not be aware of it. There's still maybe things that you can do. Check it out. And along with how to induct learners guide, we've literally created a set of resources, CPD resources on connected and effective learning. It consists of 6 modules of about 6 minutes each and 4 PDF guides. One on how to induct learners, another one on how to engage and measure progress online, and how to measure performance and ensure quality of delivery. So we hope that this is going to be really helpful to you. And what's really good is that once you've completed those 6 modules, you will be able to get that badge 1 star. And we are extending, and you'll see that in a minute, the 2-star and 3-star badges to this set of resources, which means you can get personalized feedback on your progress within this. In order to support you to understand how to navigate the 110 modules available on our EdTech programs and 20 modules available on the digital skills, we've got a guide to CPD. So this is going to help you understand the structure of the enhanced digital teaching platforms and how the 2 programs sort of support one another. If you are totally new, or you've got colleagues of yours who are totally new to EdTech and don't know where to start, we've created a 60-minute EdTech teacher starter guide, and it's really identified 12 modules of 5 minutes each at exploring stage level to get you started and help our colleagues to make their first step on their digital learning journey. And finally, as I said earlier on, we've got 7 competencies on the DTPF and 3 stages. So you can effectively progress vertically within 1 competency across the 3 stages, or you can progress horizontally across 1 stage across the 7 competencies. Now we've done a snake and ladders narrative progression, and we've got 7 routes. And the 7 routes are taking you through themes instead across different competencies, across themes and stages. And there is one, that top one, for instance, is about addressing the knowledge agenda. So it's very focused on Ofsted effectively, with cognitive load, dual coding, principles of instructions, as well as retrieval practices. And we've got, as I said, 6 other ones. Delighted to say that the Enhanced Digital Teaching Platform was awarded the EdTech 50 Award for Product in February 2020, and with its 2 programs. You've got the link there. I'm not going to ask you to visit it now. We can, because I don't think we'll have enough time. I would like to keep some time to chatting, really. But you've got the link, and obviously I'll share the presentation with you. So let's have a look now at our learning spaces, because those are really important. And Enhance is an evolving learning ecosystem. So in terms of communities of practice, the learning spaces created on the Enhanced Digital Teaching Platform offer new learning perspectives and communication channels to combat isolation of educators and build really an effective professional learning network. What are communities of practice? Well, you've got the definition here. It's about how working together to do things better and interact and share practices and caveats together so that you avoid those caveats to other practitioners. So we've got two types of communities of practice on the Enhance, on the EDS program and on the EdTech awarded practice. So let's have a look on the EDS communities of practice. The purpose of the COP is really to stimulate a professional discussion to improve practice and supporting one another in adapting the module content to meet the needs of the specific context. Now you can see on this frame how to access it. This is the Enhance menu, which is very simple. You go into the EDS and you'll see the communities of practice there. Now, what does it mean by specific learning context? Well, it means that we've got resources and discussion forum dedicated to, for instance, ESOL practitioners or offender learning practitioners or SAND practitioners, so that obviously if you're working in those different learning contexts with different learners, you will be experiencing different challenges for those learners. So ESOL learners will be challenged not only by the digital skills and how to deal with it, but the language as well. Offender learners will find it really difficult because they don't have access to technologies and the internet, and therefore you'll need to work through simulations. And those things present real challenges, and those can be shared. We've got a video to introduce you to communities of practice. Again, I'm not going to play it now, but you can visit it at a later stage. It's also available on the Enhanced Digital Teaching Platform. Now, on the EdTech program, as I said, it is underpinned by the Digital Teaching Professional Framework, or DTPF for the hashtag. It is a national EdTech competency framework. And I've already mentioned the 7 competencies, the 3 stages, but you can see a lot better here. Now, what's really important for us is that when teaching remotely, especially now that we're online, it's really important to ensure that no one is left behind wherever possible. And to address this, we've prioritized the development of the fully mapped Digital Teaching Professional Framework Competency F that you can see highlighted in red there. And this is the accessibility and inclusion competency, because we wanted to ensure that educators, we can build inclusive pedagogic approaches with EdTech. Now you can see here how it is mapped. Basically, there are 11 accessibility modules and 10 diversity and inclusion modules. And for those, you can see how they are sort of spread across the different stages. Now, to complement the competency F modules available, we've introduced in February further recognition opportunities with 2- and 3-star badges for accessibility and dealing with differences and diversity. This marks really the move of the Enhance platform to its 3rd phase of development, with new learning spaces fostering communities of practice where reflection, metacognition, feedback, peer support, and mentoring are facilitated. The badging scheme offers an opportunity for practitioners to reflect on a specific aspect of their practice and test out new strategies and resources in their context. So it's again about personalized content, isn't it? How does it work for you? You take a 5 minutes sort of abstract principles of a training module, 5 minutes, and you think, okay, how can I adapt this to my learning context with my learners? So let's have a look at the badging process. You will be awarded a 1-star badge when you complete a cluster of modules. To gain a 2-star badge, you will need to reflect on how the learning has supported you to change your practice and the impact it has had on you and on your learners. And to gain a 3-star badge, you will need to upload a resource that you have either created or adapted and a reflection on the impact it has had on the learning experience and on yourself, of course, on your delivery. And you can see that for the uploaded resources, it's not, the 3-star is no longer available at exploring stage, because at exploring, you haven't yet embedded, you're just projecting yourself. So when you have a 3-star, you need to embed with a resource in order to be able to achieve. Now, obviously, critical reflection is difficult. And as I was saying, it's about thinking about these principles of good practice and embedding them in our practices. And therefore, we've created a scaffold, a critical reflection scaffold to help you with it, with a number of words, minimum number of words, as well as important hints, as you can see in red under question 4. You will also have within it the modules that have inspired you that reflection. We also support you with theory and good practices. Again, there's no silver bullet. It's about you sort of making sure that you are being honest with yourself and thinking about what it is that you're doing and how it is working. So we've got some critical reflection as well as top tips on how to critically reflect on our own practices. How do we know that something went well? How do we know that something didn't go so well? And what is it that we can do in order to improve our practice next time round? Now, we have also delivered in June a webinar on the powers, how to empower yourself with critical reflection. And we've recorded it, so you can access it again. Everything is free access on Enhance. And what we've done is that we've created a webinar index so that you don't need to listen to the full webinar again. You can navigate it very easily by having those shortcuts to key areas within the webinar. So we hope this is going to be supportive to your needs. Now, once you share practice, obviously we know as teachers and educators that feedback is an essential part of effective learning. And the beauty of sharing a reflection on the Enhance to gain a 2-star or a 3-star badge is that you are going to get 2 professional feedback by experts in the field. And those practitioners, those experts will challenge your pedagogic approaches and will tell you, this is great because of A and B. And have you thought about doing C and D? Make sure that you don't sort of create barriers for learners with E and F, perhaps accessibility issues. So perhaps you could do G and I. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what it is that we're trying to do. It's really about supporting you to build those really effective, inclusive teaching, learning, and assessment practices with new technologies. Now, once you've shared these reflections, you've been awarded a 2-star or 3-star badge, you've got the option to either keep that for yourself or to share your reflection that has been recognized as an awarded practice. and you can share it on our awarded practice wall. And this has been just sort of, the interface has been redesigned very, very recently, end of September, to really promote what we would call a pedagogic dialogue and to lead to the co-construction of knowledge and practice with your peers. So you'll have your practice, which is displayed, and people will be able to read it. They will need to register to the platform to do that, because we don't want people to like or dislike. Well, you can't dislike, to like or bookmark a practice and engage in a dialogue anonymously. We need to know who they are so that we can build that sort of level of trust on the community of practice. But basically, this is what happens. You'll be displayed and people will be able to search. We've created a taxonomy, as you can see on the left-hand side, where you can search for specific practice, perhaps within your learning context or curriculum area. And then this is what happens. You've got your name, you've got your profile, which is displayed. You may have an avatar, or you just your initials, or a picture of yourself. And then you're starting to build your educator's profile and what it is that you're doing in order to progress on your learning journey. And people can visit and, as I said, bookmark and like what it is that we're doing. Now, I've done a little video so that you can have a look at this particular practice here on Screencast-O-Matic. It's about, I think, less than 2 minutes long. So have a look at it so that it gives you an idea of the world of the possible. But really, what we're trying to do is to have a place where we can engage in pedagogic debate, promote critical thinking, and impact on individual learning processes. So change. We know that the lockdown triggered change, and it was really, really inspiring and quite spectacular to see how educators, communities came together to support one another and respond promptly to working and learning changes. Many of us now think about how can we build on what we've experienced? How can we make it better? How can we share best practice and sustain change post-crisis? Well, the enhanced communities of practice, both on EDS and EdTech, are there to build a social learning model. And the free organization management dashboard facility offers your provider, your organization, with effective and sustainable approaches to the development of a cohesive and coherent further education workforce digital capability. So that we've got that common understanding based on the DTPF of what it means, a good practice with EdTech as in FE. So I hope this was useful, and I hope that you will be able to start on your digital learning journey with the enhanced digital teaching platform, and that I look forward very, very soon to see you sort of sharing reflections and being awarded to your 3-star badge and starting to talk with others about your challenges and how you found solutions around those challenges. Because remember, we're all facing the same challenges. We're all taking the same journey. We're all at different stages, and we can help one another. So thank you very much. Before we move into questions, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes for your feedback. And the code for this, menti.com, is 8874945. So 8874945. And it's really about looking whether you think that Enhance is going to be suitable for your needs, your personalized needs. It's about finding out what is you think is the most valuable to you in terms of our offer, and what it is we could do more of or we could do differently to support you. So your voice is important. I've already mentioned that we adopted a user-centered design process, and we really act on your feedback. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll share the responses online.
Thank you very much, Vikki.
You're welcome.
I've been dipping between the two sessions, and as you know, I'm familiar with your platform, and I have done the badges as part of the ETF project that we did last year with yourselves, and they are really, really useful, aren't they? They even though I've been in technology for a long, long time, they do help with your planning and identifying what you need to improve on.
Wow. Okay. So I can see that people thank you very much, Wayne, and I'm glad you find it useful. Again, as ETF, we are grant funded by DFE, and everything we do is to try to be responsive to the needs of the sector. But we don't know if you don't tell us. So it's really important, as I said earlier on, because I've noticed recently some people have given low rating on some of the modules, but have not explained to us why this was. And it really makes a difference. And we understand how important feedback is for our learners, and for us to drive improvement. We need your feedback, we need your views. So please do tell us. And thank you very much. And please do add bubbles in there as well. I'll stop sharing my screen so that we can move into perhaps a conversation now. I've stopped sharing, I think, have I? Yep. Okay, so let me have a look at the chat. Mara, you said you were going to manage the chat. Do you have any questions for me?
No questions yet, Vikki?
Alors, thank you. I'm glad it was useful, Samantha. Okay, so I hope you will find it useful. And as I said, you've got, and I'll send Wayne the link, but I could give you the link now if I've got it. Actually, I'll do it later on if that's okay. I'll send you the links to the CPD guidance that I presented, the CPD guide that I presented in the presentation, so that you can decide how to navigate. A lot of organizers and providers have been sharing the Essential Digital Skills program with their members of staff who perhaps don't have the digital skills, the essential digital skills they need for life and work within their organization. So feel free to do that if you're unsure how to coach learners to present online or that kind of thing. This is addressed as part of the Essential Digital Skills program. Thank you, Mara, for sharing how to induct learners PDF. And you've got the dashboard and the Twitter. Oh, you're a star. Yeah,
I think, Mara, I think you're right. It would be really great if we had a lot more time to learn and research and reflect. Yeah, we are very much a time poor part of the education system. I'm sure all education systems are, but us in FE do seem to be have squeezed particularly hard, don't we? So I'd just like to thank Vikki again. So thank you very much, Vikki, for presenting that. It's been really informative, and
Good.
I'm sure people will take away, and that platform, both the dashboard and the badges in themselves are absolutely invaluable. Thank you very much.
I'm adding my email address in the chat so that you can pick it up. Don't hesitate to contact me. You can contact me via LinkedIn, via Twitter, Facebook. I don't check it very often because it's my professional account, and my personal account is in the shadow out there. So it's my personal sort of circle. But you can email me, call me. I'm always happy to support everyone. And as I said, we can only do our job well if you tell us what to do. So don't hesitate. So that's it.
We thrive on feedback, don't we?
Well, it's really important to do that. I'll send the feedback to all of you as well, and I'll send you my presentation, Wayne. Okay?
That's great. Thank you very much, Vikki.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks
Take
a lot.
care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your help, Mara.
Anytime.
Ciao.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.